Who is that waiting for name? The first person. So now I'll be logging to the system of S4 HANA. Okay, and we will be checking the whatever we have discussed in the last two. Okay, so let me see show my screen. Okay, here see we will be connecting it to a remote desktop. To go to remote desktop, we use MSTSC, and I'll give the remote desktop server name. Then you will have user ID and password, which will be shared with you. Go to log in with that user and password.
I mean, not able to see your screen.
One the password, so that's the reason.
Oh, okay.
So you will have user ID and password given. So log into that remote desktop. Okay, it's not working.
Hi Navi. Hi all. This is Salim.
Yes, sir.
I just stopped for finishing breakfast and you all completed.
So here I'll be logging to the S4 system. Welcome at the rate. This is the user ID and password. So here I logged into the landing page. This is my S4 HANA system. First, how to check in which release it is in. Okay. So I'll go to system status, and then here if I go to the product version, in the installed product version, you can see it is been S4 HANA 1610. Okay, which is been installed here. Okay, this is how we check which release of S4 HANA it is into. And you can see here now HDB. HDB means HANA database. Database system is HANA database system. Okay. The next thing what we have discussed is like the tables which has been removed. I'll go to SC16N. The table which is removed in 1.1. Okay, 1.0, which is BSIS, one of the table. If I give that BSIS and see, it says it has a generated table for view. Okay, it will not display the table name. The same way, if I type the GLT0, which is removed in 1.0, it is also shown as a generated table for view. If I type the table which is removed in 2.0 Fagel Flexa, it is been showed with the table name only, because the view is not being generated with the same name. How to see that view? Okay, what is the view name? I'll go to SC11 Fagel Flexa. Okay, here I'll go to extras, utilities, runtime object, display. say here you can see this is a FGLV underscore Fagelflexa is the view name for Fagelflexa. The same way the asset line item table, say asset line item table is removed in 2.0. This table is been removed and converted as a view. If I come here, display utilities. See here FAV underscore ANE. This is what we have understood in the last session, that 1.0 table removed has been converted as a view in the same name, whereas 2.0 table has been given with the other name. So that is the reason you will not see that as a generated table for view. Okay. So here if I come back, okay, here if you go to technical settings, here in the DB specific properties, you can see the data is getting stored in column store. I have told in my introduction session, HANA database stores the data in columnar based. Earlier it was default row based in the Oracle. Now either you can make it as columnar or store a row. Okay, but we will make it always as a columnar with the S4 HANA database. Clear? Any doubt in this?
No, Navin.
Okay. Fine. Atul Ahmad, Shahu, Javed, Mukta, Renu, Salim. Any doubt in this?
No, thank you.
No, this is the way how we find the table, actual table.
So I have given the list of table names which is been removed in 1.0 and 2.0, which I showed it in presentation. I'll be putting that in the Google Drive. You can just try with the different other tables. Okay. Now start with the configuration part. So first what I'll do is I'll go and create a company code. Okay. With that company code, we'll be doing all the activities and understand. So I'll start with the enterprise structure. So there is no changes in the enterprise structure. I'll just go and create a company code. How we do it normally. The company code is created. Creating the company. I've created a company. I'll just do the assignment. Okay. And then I'll go to the financial year. Maintain physical year variant. And then company code. I'll go to my company code as in K4. Okay, next posting period. See the posting period, as usual, I'll go and create a variant. I'll use the company code only for the variant. 12 PPV. So after defining the variant, okay. So here you will have assign variant to company code, where I'll go and assign to a company code. So AB12. Where I assign a variant to company code AB12. Next is open and close posting period. This open and close posting period, in this we add a change now. So earlier we were having period 1, period 2 only. Period 1 we use it for my posting period. Period 2 column we use it for our special periods. This is how we were using this period 1 and period 2 column. Now we have additional column period 3. This period 3 will going to control your CO postings. This period 3 will going to control your CO postings. So in this, that means like OKP1 which we are using to do the postings. Okay, now we will be using the from here we can control the posting to CO. That means whatever period you have opened here will get opened in CO. That means OKP1 also will be there. This one also will be there. This is your controlling through the GL accounts. Okay, as I told in my introduction session, all secondary cost element is a GL account and primary cost element is also a GL account. Everything will be controlled from FI for posting to CO because it is all come under one table. But still OKP1 will remain as it is. If either of this or OKP1 is locked, system will not do transaction posting. Both way it should open. Okay, if you have given a blank here, system will take the period 1 as the date as the period opened for CO. If the blank means it is not locked. In case of FI, if you do period 1 as a blank, it considered as a locked. But here, if you have given something, it will consider that as the CO period open. If you have not given anything, it will consider period 1 which is opened for FI is opened for CO also. Clear? This is the change in S4 HANA.
Just to reconfirm this one, where we are saying okay, you would complete this example, then I think then I'll be more clear on that. So where it is blank, that means close, or where it is blank, that means open.
So
and also something on the authorization group. How we are going to control period and the controlling period in terms of authorization groups.
See, in terms of authorization group, that is different. However, we are controlling the authorization group, we will be controlling the same way. That is FI period authorization group. Okay. And earlier, from period 1 was there, from period 2 was there, which we use it for FI period, and from period 2 we used to do the CO periods. Sorry, special periods. Now, from period 3 has been given. If I open here, okay, 1st of 2018, then system consider that whatever you do posting from FI to CO, where it will consider the first period as opened. Okay, it will not consider second period, it will consider as a lock. Even if you have opened in OKP1 transaction, which is standard we are using till now, will continue as it is. It has to open here also. Or if you open here and if you lock there, then also it will not work. Both the way it should be open. If I don't give, for example, if I given it as a blank, system will not consider that it has been locked. It will consider, if it is a blank, it will consider the FI period open as a period open for CO to post. Clear?
Okay, that means in CO, whatever period we will mention, that will remain open unless if it is blank, then it will consider FI period, right?
Yes. Whatever from period you give, that will be open, and otherwise from period 2 will be this one. Atul, Shao, Javed, Mukhtar, Renu, Salim. Clear?
Yes, Naveen.
Yes, Navi.
Okay. So this is the posting period part. The next is the document. We have to go and create a document number ranges. So when you are creating a document number ranges, first is document type. See the document type, we have a new document type called a CO document type. Okay. This CO document type, okay, is a new document type given by SAP. The reason of giving this document type is whenever we do transactions in FI, okay, we need a document type to do a posting. Now, when you do a transactions in CO, system will generate an automatic corresponding entry in FI also. For example, if you have done a distribution where you move the cost from one cost center to another cost center. So system will generate an accounting entry in FI side where it credit and debit the same GL account. Here the cost allocation happen between the cost center. The accounting entry JV will be crediting and debiting the same cost element where it credit the sending cost center, debit the receiving cost center. This is an accounting entry generates in FI. To generate an accounting entry in FI, we need a document type. So SAP has given a standard document type CO where we assign it to different CO business transaction a document type. If you have used the same document type, if you have used same document type for all business transaction like distribution, assessment, internal activity allocation, it takes the same document type and number. If you wanted to give it separate, you can have a multiple document type created and give separate. Okay, so for CO document type, okay, here they have done a mistakes here like GL account and secondary cost. Only these two options should be checked. GL account and secondary cost. See, now we have an additional account type called secondary cost. That means I've told the secondary cost elements are been created as a GL account now. If you wanted the postings only with respect to that a document type, you can restrict with the secondary cost. So this account type secondary cost is a new field of account type is being provided now in S4 along with the document type CO which SAP has given standardly. Clear? So we have a configuration step which we are going to do where we assign the CO document type to all our business transactions. To all our business transactions which we do it in CO. Either it's internal activity allocation, overhead calculation or distribution, assessment, whatever transactions, KB11N, okay, whatever transactions you do it in CO, for that individual transaction type, we have to assign this document type. If you assign different, then based on the transaction you do, system check the document type, take the document number and post an accounting entry.
So Naveen, one thing here I want to understand. When we are saying now all the CO transactions, whether it is a secondary cost allocation, for everything there will be a financial account line item as well. So are we saying that now financial account ledger and the CO, those will be real time updated and there will be nothing like that. We have to add CO transactions and financial transactions. Then we came to know that what's the actual figure. So now in the financial GL account itself, we will find all the CO related secondary cost allocations, overhead and financial transactions as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
You don't need
what I understand further,
please, madam, please use the earphones. Don't use the computer speakers. It will echo back.
Okay. So have you understood what I asked?
It is not like that. It is a COFI reconciliation is not required for you. Earlier it was a COFI month end you are doing. Then we had an online reconciliation. Now going forward, you don't require any reconciliation because everything getting updated under one table AC data. Because earlier you had a multiple table, the data storing in one table reconcile with other table. Now everything is coming as under one table AC data. So everything gets updated online with the line item data. So you don't need any reconciliation.
And that is updated because of this settings only, right? Where we have checked GL account and secondary cost. Right?
Yes.
So what will happen if I don't check this secondary cost here in this document type?
That is nothing to do with that, madam. Like when you do a secondary cost transaction, internal activity allocation and all, if you wanted to get updated that number, for that secondary cost is for. Okay, if you have after selecting here, you have to assign this in the assessment interactive allocation in those business transactions. If you wanted to, you will be assigning it. If you wanted to use a separate set, for example, for secondary posting GL account, You can use that option to do that.
Okay, and if I will not check this secondary cost elements, that means by default it will go into the which document type? That entry will still get generated, right?
We see secondary cost. To post secondary to post through the secondary cost element, we need to set secondary cost. Okay, otherwise it will not post an accounting entry for secondary cost elements. Secondary cost element, we are going to create it as a GL account. Because you have set it here, secondary cost element also will have an accounting entry generated. Otherwise, it will not. It will give the error for you.
No, it will give the error then, right? So that's what I wanted to understand. That means it is recommended to have the secondary cost also checked.
Yes.
Okay.
So here I will be defining the number ranges. I just define one. Then we have to do as usual field status. Now done. Then I'll be going parallel accounting. Let's see. Okay. Next is I have to create the chart of accounts. Okay. GL creation, there are changes that we will discuss. So first let's create a chart of account. So in the chart of account, I'll just create as usual the chart of account. See, earlier we had a separate creation of a GL account and then converting it as a cost element. Okay, creating a GL account. Now there is no further separate creation of a cost element. Okay, that transaction has been removed. Everything is included in the GL creation itself. Okay, it is as I said, secondary cost also will be a GL account. There is no separate screen for creating the cost element like K01, K06 is not there. Everything is been accommodated now in FS00 transaction itself. Okay, so how that we will understand that after completing our other configuration part. So I'm just creating a chart of account because I have to do a controlling area part. So I'll go and assign my company code to chart of account.
Hey, Naveen, one question on this chart of accounts. So earlier we used to create for this one local chart of accounts, then group chart of accounts, okay, and operating chart of accounts. So now this can
that will
give, I mean to say,
that will continue as it is. Based on your requirement, you can maintain all three chart of account as it is.
Okay, okay, still it continues, right? There's nothing for that. Okay.
There is no change in that.
Okay.
Navin Javed this side. We are not creating integration with FICO here.
Integration with FICO means?
So we need to create the cost element.
Cost element we are not going to create here because everything is under one table. Not here. When we create a GL account, we don't have a separate screen to create a cost element. Everything is get merged in FS00 itself. That we will discuss later. When we go on to create a GL account, we will discuss that later. Okay.
Okay. So by default, it's creating. There is no manual and automatic creation, right?
There is no manual and automatic. In the FS00 itself, when you create an FS00, there itself you have an option. The enhancement has done that way. So we'll understand that how it will be done.
Okay.
So I've created a chart of accounts. I'll go and do the controlling area. Maintain controlling area. Someone is locked. I just want to delete that lock. I'll go to new entries. Okay. I'll use controlling area EBIT 12, controlling area same as company code EBIT 12. Controlling area same as company code. Cost center CC EBIT 12 underscore CCR. Yes. I'll just save it. So I'll come to assignment of company code. The entries EBIT 12. No, it became a story later. So we have done this basic settings of this. Now, if you, as I said, OB22 currency, OB22 you should try, okay, to open an OB22 transaction. OB22, okay, it says use transaction pins underscore ledger. Okay, here you will be finding AB12, still you will not find because we have not done the setting in pins underscore ledger. Okay, here I'll go to the converting to S4 HANA, preparations, general ledger, okay, define settings for ledgers and currency type. This is the new transactions given by SAP. So as I said, logically you will have leading ledger assigned to it, and your company code currency will be your first currency, and your controlling area currency will become your second currency. So you will see a 0L leading ledger. If you go to company code settings for ledger, here I will be assigning AB12 company code to that. AB12 company code, if I double click on that AB12 company code, you can see here currency type is 10, and then again it is used as a company code currency only. Okay, and for legal validation purpose, you got the controlling as a object currency. See, object currency also has got added automatically because you may have an object currency also defined for the purpose because you have added it as a company code currency. So what I'll do is I'll change the settings. When I'm doing the controlling area part, I have not done. I've just added controlling area same as company code. It's set as a company code currency. Now I'll go to this controlling part. Here what I'll do is I'll change it to class company code costing 30 is my this one. How will I check my this one slash o SC4 SCC4. There is USD is my group currency. I'll say now USD as my group currency. That is the standard implementation way of methodology. Okay, where we have to use a group currency as our controlling area currency, so that you will have a common currency between FI and CO across all company codes.
Naveen, how do you get to know that this is in USD?
This is
There
group
could
currency.
be euro and
I have checked what is the group currency for my system. It is in this transaction SC4. You will have, we have set USD as my group currency. So USD I am putting it as my group currency. Clear?
yeah.
So Naveen, S4 HANA transaction node, what you have shown just here, conversions and all new transactions. So do we have plan to go each of the node to understand what these new transaction does
When we do
S4 HANA application?
When we do migration, we will do that. Now, whatever implementation part we require, that we are doing it now.
Great.
Either you can use that here, there, or you can use here different settings for ledger and currency types. See here, if I see now AB12, okay, see here, 10 is company code currency, 30 is group currency it came. Okay, now I was talking on the Z currency type definition. So now I'll go to new entries. I can create a Z currency type ZA currency type ZA AB, for example, AB12. Okay, short legal valuation, because if we are doing the valuation part. Okay, now base currency type. Okay, that will come for your this one. See here, you set it as a company code specific or a global. Okay, this valuation will be on base currency type. This will come when you do a transfer pricing. Okay, here we are not doing transfer pricing. I'm just keeping that as a blank. Here you can see here whether it's a company code specific or global. That is what I was explaining to you yesterday. If you set it as a company code specific, ZA currency type can be as different currencies for every company code. If it is a global, I set it at a global level, that ZA currency is CNY. Wherever I use ZA, it will always be CNY only. That means China currency. So I set it as a company code specific, and I'll save here the currency type ZA. Then okay. Now, as it is a company code specific or global specific, if I say global specific, here we are going to define the currency type. What is the currency type for that? Because it is a global currency conversion setting which we set at the system level, at the client level. What is the currency type? As we set it as a company code, we have to set it as a company code level. So if you see currency types here, you can see we have a group currency which is assigned, also set it at a company code specific. That means company code wise group currency will not vary. Why it has been set as a company code specific? Some company code wanted to do translation based on posting date, some wanted to do it on the document date, or whatever translation should happen to group currency. If it is a vary between company code to company code, that is the reason they set it as a company code. So that is the reason when I come here, I have to do two activities here. Company code specific, I'll go to new entries. My company code is AB12. For that, I have to assign 30 currency type. Currency type I have to use USD only. Okay, what is the source type for conversion? Okay, whether document currency or company code currency. So company code currency, exchange rate type, what it has to use. Okay, so for all this, if there is a change, posting date and press enter. Okay, this is for standard currency type. Now ZA currency type, I can define anything. I'll say CNY. Okay, source currency type is based on company code currency. Standard exchange rate is M. It is posting date. Okay, and then I'll press enter. Once I press enter here, it says the real time conversion is opened. See, that means the Z currency type can be a real. Now it is a real time conversion. If you check out, it will not be a real time conversion. But normally we wanted to make it as real time conversion only. So these are the two currency type which I have assigned it to my company code based on the company code specific settings. Clear? Any doubt in this?
No, this is fine.
So here currency type I have defined. Okay. In the currency type I set it whether it's a global or company code. If it is a global, I'll do the set up for global here. For global, you don't need any company code because you do it at a client level. As we have set it as a company code, so we have done a company code. So the company code is not only the currency type definition, how it has to translate the value. Okay, if it is company code to company code, if you wanted to vary, then also we set it at a company code level. Like another company code may use CNY only as as a day, but the way of using exchange rate would be a different. Okay, so in that case also we set it at a company code level. Okay, so next we have to assign that to my company code. So 0L leading ledger company code settings. Here I'll be assigned 10 and 30 get assigned the default, and now I'll say add currency and I'll put here ZA, which is created. Like this, if you wanted to add multiple currencies, you can keep add by creating A, B, Z, A, B, C, D, F, whatever 8 currencies you can do. You can do all that. Any doubt in this?
So Naveen, when we do real-time conversion check for any of the additional currencies or the company code currencies, so at what point we can remove that check? If any transactions already posted, then also we can check or uncheck that real-time conversion settings.
We need real-time conversion only. The option is given, but why there will not be a scenario where I don't need a real-time conversion. Everyone looks for a real-time conversion.
Yeah, but if at the time of settings, if someone has not checked that one, it is not there, then can we
do real-time conversion? It will not do real-time conversion. You have to make sure.
No, my question is.
No, this is a
my question is.
This is a consultant activity. You should not miss out like that. If you do purposefully error,
that's what I'm saying. If someone missed that one, then can we check this in between the life cycle of the project?
Yes, but
if transactions all
you have to do it at the month end. You have to do it at the month end. Okay, you should not do it because for the entire month you do the revaluation done, and from the next month you make it as a real time. You make it as a real time conversion. Okay.
Yeah, these things we wanted to understand.
Now I have done with the leading ledger. Okay, let us create a non-leading ledger. I'll go to new entries and say a non-leading ledger. Say a non-leading ledger. I'll say AB only. Non-leading. Okay. Here we call it as standard ledger only. I'm not checking this because it's a non-leading ledger. Okay. And if I press enter, AB it is there. Say A1. Okay. A1 is my ledger, standard ledger, which is assigned. Okay. I'll just save this. Okay. So this is my non-leading ledger. I select here, going to company code settings, new entries. I'll put my company code AB12. So when I put whatever the default it was there, it will come. Okay, like company code currency and other one and your this one Z currency also. If you don't need that, you can just remove that, delete it. For example, this currency I don't need it for my ledger. Okay, I can just delete it, the ZA currency. So My leading ledger is having 3 currencies, non-leading ledger is having only 2 currencies. Clear? Any doubt in this? So for the leading ledger and the non-leading ledger, what I have created, okay, I have to assign the accounting principles on which it will going to report, because I am doing a parallel ledger. So for that I have to create an accounting principles and then I have to assign with specific to the ledger. That is what we discussed yesterday, the ledger approach and the account approach. Now we are following the procedure of ledger approach, because all implementations whatever we do, we all be going with a ledger approach only. Okay, so where we do that settings of ledger approach and an account approach. So first I have to go and create the accounting principles and then assign the accounting principle to ledger group. So whenever you create, you would have observed system says the ledger group is created. Okay, so the ledger group is the one which we are using to do any postings. So here parallel accounting. Okay, define accounting principles. So I can define my accounting principles. I'll say as AFRS. Okay, A gap. I'll say it as AFRS. On my understanding, gap. I'm creating these 2 accounting principles on which I'm going to do the reporting. Okay, so once I did that, okay, assigning the accounting principle to ledger groups. Okay, here I'll go and say my AFRS is assigned to the leading ledger and A gap is assigned to the A1 ledger. Okay, I'll just assign the accounting principles to ledger group. So once I did this, this is ledger group. Okay, now I will be going to the my ledgers of leading and non-leading and assign the accounting principle. So 0L, okay, company code settings. Company code is AB12. Select here, going to accounting principles to the ledger group. I'll say accounting principle. I'll say here as AFRS, accounting principles AFRS. Okay. If it is an account approach, that means one leading ledger where I'll have 2 accounting principles reporting. So I'll be giving a gap here also. Okay. So if I'm doing an accounting approach, I'll assign 2 accounting principles here because I will be having only one ledger. Okay, so because here I am doing a ledger approach, for 0L I will assign AFRS, for A1 I will assign A gap. Okay, 2 separate ledgers for 2 accounting principles. If you made it as an account approach, there is a checkbox parallel use of GL account. That option you have to select here. I will show that where you have to select if you are using an account approach. If you go back to company code settings, here see a parallel accounting use of using GL account. This we have to set if I assign 2 accounting principles to here because it's a account approach. As a ledger approach, I should not check up this box. So I'll go back to my ledger, say A1, I'll say company code settings. Here I'll say accounting principles to the ledger groups. So here I'll go new entries and I'll say here my A gap. Save. Okay, so this is how we have created a currency type. We have understood the ledger. Now the last part is the extension ledger. How to create an extension ledger? So here I'll go to new entries. The extension ledger, I'll say B1 for example. Extension ledger B1 AB12 for example for our understanding. So here standard ledger type I'll change it to extension ledger. Okay, B1 is already there. I'll say A2. Here. So here extension ledger I have selected. Here in the extension ledger there are two types: extension ledger, simulation extension ledger. Simulation extension ledger we will discuss later. Now extension ledger, where you have to set an underlying ledger for this. Either it should be a leading ledger or a non-leading ledger which we created. Okay, either of that you have to set it as a base ledger, as an underlying ledger, and save it. Got it? This extension ledger can be created at any point of the time during the year, where you create a ledger, assign an underlying ledger for it. Underlying ledger is nothing but a base ledger from where system will going to pull the data plus what you specifically transactionally posted to AE ledger. Clear on this point? See, ledger AE group is created. Fine.
Yeah, now all this we are doing under 1610, right? 1610, and the similar settings will be there in 1709 as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So other than this additional configuration which you have to complete, see here we were talking on here, define the ledger for CO version. So whenever we say define ledger for CO version, okay, here we have to set, okay, what version for CO it should get updated. Okay, I'll say AB12 is my company code. The version 0 should get updated from which ledger? It has to get updated from my leading ledger. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just giving it as 0L. Okay, because non-leading ledger we don't do controlling part with respect to ledgers. We just do it for our actual reporting purpose, which is normally we link it to leading ledger. Then in the document type, as I said, a CO document type which is been given by SAP, that we have to assign it to the different business transaction. That is what we are going to do here. Define document type mapping variant for CO business transaction. So if you go here, you have a mapping variant, okay, and you go to the mapping on CO business document type. These are the, see, coin is not required. This is again someone has done a mistake. Okay, coin is not required because it goes from FI to CO. We are talking CO to FI. So these are the different activity: distribution of primary cost, secondary cost, actual assessment, repost of cost. These are the different activities you are going to perform in CO. For that, it should generate an FI document. So for that, you need a document type CO. Okay. See, class company code document type is, for example, if you do a transfer of cost from one cost center to another cost center, where both cost centers are assigned to different company code in a controlling area, system should generate a cross company code document. Okay, because the transaction happen in FI between the two company codes. So for that purpose, this cross company code document type. So from where the number should get picked in order to post an FI entry. That is what we are mentioning a document type here. Clear?
That means, Naveen, when we are seeing cross company code in FI, we used to have clearing accounts associated with the cross company code automatic entries.
Yes.
Similarly, same clearing account will be valid for this CO cross company code transactions as well, right?
If you have done any in CO, if you do between two cost center, if you do any cost transfer where two company codes are belong to different company codes, then it will have a cross company code generated in FI part. In that scenario,
So same clearing account will be valid for CO transactions as well, right? Like
exactly.
FI?
Exactly. Yes. The same clearing document are valid.
So Naveen, just for confirmation, this distribution for all the, I mean to say the document type you are given CO, instead of that we can create our own document type also and we can assign it here, right?
Yes.
In the last column.
Yes, you can assign. So this mapping variant, I have to put it to link it to my company code. Okay. So my company code is AB12. AB12 valid from 0101.2018. Default letter 0L and mapping variant. Okay. So these are the basic settings required for now. Okay. So till here we have discussed in 2 sessions on the currency part change. First on the ledger part, leading ledger, non-leading ledger and extension ledger part. And in the last class, the extension, the currency part of like HSL, KSL, OSL, VSL, FSL, BSL, CSL, DSL, ESL, FSL, GSL part and the tables which has been removed and replaced with the views. Okay. And we have, and additionally OB52 additional column of period 3 why it has been given, document type CO why it has been given. So we have understood this much. Any doubt in this till here? You have to practice, you have to create a company code. Okay, after going through my video, you have to create a company code, you have to practice, then only you will have an answer and you will get the doubts which we can clarify and discuss in the coming sessions.
Yeah, one thing coming here, so operating concern nowhere yet came. So
operating, I have not yet gone to operating concern, madam. I have not started COPA part. I am just doing the basic settings. I am just talked on the ledger changes, currency changes, okay, and other basic FI changes that I am talking. I am not yet moved into the controlling changes.
Okay. Okay.
Can you proceed to the next level?
Naveen, see, this is just out of topic. Just I have read somewhere about transfer pricing also. Just can you say where it is used or something like this?
Transfer pricing, when you have a multiple company codes, okay, every company, when you do intercompany transactions, okay, you know, when you do between your company code, you need to give some profit margin to the company code from where you are procuring it. Otherwise, one company code will retain every revenue, the other company code will go for entire loss, right? Say we both are company codes. Okay, you are taking something from me always. If you take always at the cost from me, okay, I will always be in a loss and you get entire profit from the customer with your company code only. My company code, you cannot show any profit. So that is the reason you will have, whenever I sell it to you for a 10 rupee product, cost of product, I say for you 12 rupees. For customer, it will be 15 rupees. If I sell it for a customer, I do it for 15. But if I do it for you, I'll do it for 12 rupees. That is 2 rupees profit which I am going to retain. Okay. So that concept is called a transfer pricing concept.
Okay. Thanks, Naveen.
Can we proceed next level? So the next is the GL changes. So in the GL part, general ledger part, as I was mentioning earlier, we used to create a GL account. Then we used to convert them as a cost element. Either manually you have to do, or automatically you are trying to convert into a cost element. Because the cost element CO tables are all different earlier. Now as it is one table, we don't need to create a separate cost element and the GL account separately. In the FS00 itself, system is given an option to maintain the cost elements set of GL account. So if I come back to SAP, if I go to FS00 transaction, see the table level, there is no changes. In the table SK1 series and CSK series, that means GL tables, cost element tables will remain as it is. When I save the data in FS00, both the tables of your GL as well as cost element will get updated. Okay, so this is the screen FS00. Even if I type KA01, it will redirect to the same screen. FS00 screen only. If I type even KA01, it will redirect to the GL. Okay, here SAP has given a new field now called GL account type. with the 4 default option: balance sheet account, non-operating expenses, primary cost, secondary cost. This is an additional field get added in SKA1 table. If you create a GL account which is completely balance sheet account, I'll set this as a balance sheet account. Okay. Then non-operating expense or income is a P&L account which is not a cost element. For example, exchange rate gain, exchange rate loss account, or your WIP month-end process account. So all these are P&L account which will not convert into a cost elements where it doesn't require a cost objects when I do postings. Primary cost or revenue, that means a GL account, that is your P&L account which is a cost element, either the expense or revenue account which is a cost element. So if I select this primary cost or revenue, in the control data tab, system asks mandatorily the cost element category of primary costs. When I create a secondary cost element as a GL account, I'll select here and go to control data. The cost element category which is a mandate field which will ask for the secondary cost element categories like assessment, internal activity allocation or overhead type. So those secondary cost element categories will become mandatory in the control data tab. Say earlier you would have observed there is a 2 button, P&L and balance sheet. That option is not there now, but in the table level the field is there, where system, if I select it as a balance sheet account, it considers that as a balance sheet. If I select either of that, then it will consider it as a P&L in the table level entry. So let me create one account. I'll create the first balance sheet account. Say AB12.
So Naveen, are we saying that now no month-end CO activity is required?
What month-end activity that is required, madam? I am not told that. I have said that GL account and cost elements have been merged into one screen.
My question was related to reconciliation related activities.
Reconciliation is not required further. We don't have a transaction screen, nothing, reconciliation is not required. So I am selecting it as a balance sheet account. Account type is the account group is the one which I created it. I'll say it as a bank account. So here you would find there is a line item display option that has been removed now. Okay. Default every transactions will go with line item display checkbox. Okay. In AC Docker it get updated line item wise. In the BSEG or in your FBL 3N to report to show, it should be line item display check. Okay. So for that purpose, automatically system check at the table level line item display default it will going to check even if you are not checked up here. Short key 001. Field status group G001. This is a common balance sheet account which I created. Now the next is I'll go and create a P&L account. See, if it is a primary cost or revenue, when I come to control data tab, you can see here cost element category is mandatory. Is a mandate field where it will show me the list of primary cost element categories. Okay, if I set it as a, for example, non-operating expenses or income, okay, in the control data tab, that field will not be available as a mandate. Okay, if I set it by means secondary cost, which we will going to create later, okay, in the control data, you will find the cost element category fields as this. Clear? I'll come back here. I'll set it correctly to primary cost or revenue. Control data, I'll set it as 1. G005. We'll create one more. Say for example, now I have not set there anything. Now cost element category is not mandate. I'll just come now and set it as primary cost or revenue. expense, I'll say it as salary account, I'll say it as salary account. Okay, and then I'll save it. Say cost element was not specified category. Do you want to lock the GL account for posting? Yes. So you have created, but it has been locked. Okay. If you wanted to open it, you have to come view control data as one and then save. So if you see here now, the lock for posting is not been opened. So you have to open it and then save it. Clear? If you have not mentioned, the system has to lock it and it will get locked until unless you maintain a cost element category. It is not that you have to come out and again you have to create. You can, whatever you have done, you can save it, but it will be in the lock mode. Okay. So I have given for the sales revenue cost element category I have given. I created a GL account. So any doubt in this? The GL part changes. So if you go to the table level, okay, so AC16 SKA1 table, chart of account AB12 and execute and say settings. See here how the balance sheet account got it based on the option I said. Okay, the field is not been removed. The balance sheet account is the one. For P&L account, the field remain as it is, but the radio button option has been removed. Okay, and then you will have the account type as a new field. See here, this is a new field, account type XPPPP. Okay, X means your account type here. See, X means your balance sheet account. Okay, I have done primary cost or revenue, all which is the cost element category 1 and 11, and N and S. This is a new field introduced in SK1 table. Clear? In the SKB1 table, so these tables will get updated automatically when you save FS00. Okay, company code is AB12. Say AB12. Okay, here I'll say the field status group is been given here. Okay, here line item display is the one which I was talking, which is get updated automatically. See here, line item display, it is been removed from the screen. Okay, but in the table default in the backend it get updated because now HANA you can maintain all the items as a line item display because it maintains the pressure in the system. So because if you are not set this as a line item display, your FBL3N report will not going to work for the GL account. So that is the reason system has removed from the screen because it's all line item data. We are saving it in AC Docker and it is placing automatically the update in the line item display as X. Clear? Any doubt in this? In the GL part. So in the GL part, to repeat, SAP, so in the configuration screen, if you have observed or not, so when I am creating a chart of account, okay, we will not be having earlier if you remember, we had a manual creation of cost element, automatic creation of cost element when I do the GL account creation. Okay, that option is not there now. See, if I go here, position B12, So here there is no option of manual creation or automatic creation of GL account. That is been removed. That means everything is automatically created. Everything is been merged into one screen. Clear?
Yeah, that has gone to FS00.
Yes,
Right.
everything has moved into FS00. So in the FS00, as we have discussed, a new field account type has been entered. Partial balance sheet, non-operating expenses, primary cost or revenue, or secondary cost. If it is a balance sheet account, we set it as a balance sheet account. Non-operating expenses income are the GL account, which is P&L, not a cost element. Okay, primary costs are the GL account, which is a P&L and a cost element. So for that, in control data, it will open up and asking the primary cost element category. If you select secondary cost in the control data, it asks for secondary cost element categories. So this is how system does it. So line item display option is been removed, which is automatically set. So when I save the data, it update the table level. There is no removal of cost element tables. It will remain as it is. The table alignment is been placed as it is. Only the additional field get added in the as an account type in SKA1 table. Clear? Any doubt till here, whatever we have done? The next is we have to post an accounting entries. So now we have to do an accounting entries. We have to see how that entries get updated, and we have to see the reporting, and we have to see the impact, how the entries are getting posted with different currencies and all.
So Naveen, when you have created the account groups, is it created yesterday or today?
Today only I created it. Yesterday I didn't open the system at all, right?
Okay. Actually, I was not able to log in, that's why.
Okay. I have entire system configuration, whatever we discussed last 2 sessions, all that is been covered in the practical part of the system today. So do you want me to continue further and show the GL postings, or you wanted to practice till here and come back? It is up to your level of comfortability. I don't have an issue. I have time till 30 minutes to do it.
You can
I mean, I think complete the cycle, so that will be good. So accounting entry, then the table verify, then the report.
Yeah.
So if I go now FB50, the accounting entry. Reporting. Account to state complete code validation. Yeah, activated.
activity-based costing as well active. Try to see in the latter stage changes there as well.
Cost centers I have not created. Let me create a cost center. Show PA0. There is no change in creation of cost center part. Oh, sorry. Instead of agreeing to this, I'll do that. Okay. 10050. Why? Field status could have an impact. Oh, exchange rate is not maintained. Oh. Is equal to 2.5. You got it right because I have set CNY as my currency for that the exchange rate was not available in the system. So I maintain that exchange rate. Sorry, I have done multiple. Item category. This is document splitting. We don't need document splitting. So document got posted. Now if I see document display, so 10,000 INR. If you say display currencies, see document currency, local currency, group currency. Other than that, if you go by line item wise, additional data, you can see the group currency. This is an entry view. Okay, you have to go to general ledger view. In the general ledger view, if you go to the part of rent account, additional data, you can see your conversion in the CNY also with respect to the leading ledger. In the non-leading ledger, we are having only two currencies. So here if you say display currency, you can see local group, otherwise your currency type ZA, AB12. In that currency also you can do the check. Okay. If I say other ledger, okay, I'll say it as A1 non-leading ledger. Okay. In that you will have the currencies to define only document, local and group, because we have not assigned any Z currencies. If you have assigned 8 Z currencies with respect to the ledger, you can see in all the currencies the report. Clear? Any doubt in this?
Naveen, in the appendix?
I'm not talking of the appendix. It's updated in my
Your voice is breaking, sorry.
See, if I go to SSC table, company code AB12, okay, you will find entries updated in if you see table level, it updated in my leading ledger and non-leading ledger. The entry which is commonly posted updates only in leading ledger and non-leading ledger. It will not insert the data in the extension ledger. If you go and see the report /n FAGL-L03, FAGL-L03, okay, sorry, FAGL-L03, which is a line item report based on the ledger. So here the ledger group which you have assigned here is leading ledger. So if I execute for the leading ledger, you get the report whatever is been posted in the leading ledger. If I execute the same for the, see here, if I execute here, okay, you can see in this the freely definable currency is one, the day currency, all the 8 currencies you can see now in FAGL L03. Okay. If I change it to choose ledger to an appendix ledger, which is, what is an appendix ledger we created? AE, extension ledger AB. AE. No configuration for the combination. Okay, we have configured it. I think I have not assigned it to company code. One more thing I forgot to explain when I am doing that, because I have not assigned. I just created and left it. So here the extension ledger AE, select an extension ledger AE, go to company things. I have to assign the company code to this AB12. Okay, when I assign AB12, whatever my base ledger was having the physical year when it take that, then my base ledger currency it will take. Here only option for me to change only the posting period variant, because without disturbing your main variant, you can have a separate posting period variant for extension ledger, and you can open the period and do the posting without disturbing your main ledger. So posting period variant can only be changed. The rest all data will get derived from your base ledger.
Naveen, just coming back to this posting period variant, you're saying you can change the posting period variant. So when you're going to do the posting in leading, I mean to say in this extension ledger, that I think the first class what we had example, right? It will have even the, I mean to say it is linked to the leading ledger. So posting happens there, or how is it like?
It will not happen anywhere the posting to leading ledger, sir. When you post extension ledger, it posts only in extension ledger. When you post normal transaction, it posts our leading and non-leading ledger. extension ledger posting only in extension ledger only. It will not update your leading ledger.
Okay.
Variant is, in order to specifically do it for extension ledger, where I have closed the January month and now I wanted to do posting. Okay, if I have a separate posting period, when I can open extension ledger and doing instead of opening my main ledger to do it. My main ledger posting period variant, because it may impact my business to post some other transaction, right? For that purpose.
Okay.
So if I execute now here, see here in the extension ledger AE, it pulls the data whatever we posted in leading ledger. In the table we have seen, it has been updated in a leading ledger, not in extension ledger AE. We don't find any record in AC Docker table.
So Naveen, AE we have activated after posting our transactions. So, but it has still picked the transaction what we have already posted, right?
Because it is not posting in extension ledger. It is just getting the data. It is just getting the data for previous year also. If you wanted to get the data, it will derive it. Okay, it is not getting posted. If you wanted to post, then you should not do it. Here it is not posting. It is just pulling the data from there of leading ledger, and whatever you post specifically. If you wanted to post specifically to this, you go to FBCL as an assignment. You do this. Okay, where you give the posting date, and I select the ledger group as AE. Do the entry. When you do this entry, it will update only in your extension ledger. It will not update in your leading and non-leading ledger. When you execute this report, it will get your extension ledger data posted plus your leading ledger data posted. Please try as an assignment this activity. Got it? Posting the specific to extension ledger by using the ledger group AE, post it, and then you go and see in AC Data. It will see only in your AE extension ledger only. 1 minute. Hello. Sorry. So it will post only in AE ledger group at the table level. When you do the reporting system, take AE plus non-leading ledger posted data in your report. Say this for you again the question. Say this FAGL L03. This is a transaction which is been given by SAP. Okay, FAGL L03 is a transaction given by SAP in the new GL concept introduced, where it derives the data from Fagelflexa. Now Fagelflexa is not there. So the Fagelflexa is being redirected to AC Daka to bring the data. So that's the reason, as it go to AC Daka to bring the data. In AC Daka we have 8 additional free currencies are available. All that will be displayed in this report. Whereas FBL 3N report, if I execute, whereas if I execute FBL 3N report, that FBL 3N report will get you the data from your BSEC table. BSEC table is not been removed. It is not redirecting anywhere. So that is the reason when you do the BSEC table execution, you will get the report only in the 3 currencies where the BSEC get updated. Say where we set the BSEC currencies to update, because OB22 settings on which the BSEC will get updated. Let me go back to the configuration part. See here, when we are defining here in the ledger part, okay, ledger going to the company code settings. See here, AB12. AB12. See here, you have company code currency, group currency. That is freely defined currency. Now, if you scroll to right, say here where we are going to set the, see in BSEC you will have 3 currencies only accommodate. So that is default company code currency. The second is your group currency, and the third you can set if you want any odd currencies, anything to update it. But you cannot set the BSEC to update with Z currencies. BSEC you cannot set. These are the 3 fields where it will get updated. See, this whatever 8 fields are there, this will get updated in AC Docker. These 3 currency fields which you are going to mention, system automatically takes company code and the controlling area currency as first and second. If you use any of the standard SAP currency type as third currency and update in BSEC table, you can mention it here. But if you cannot mention ZA, ZB, the BSEC will not get updated with Z currency type. If you use the first additional currency as ZA, this field will be blank. That means in BSEC you will have only 2 currencies. That means your FBL 3N report will have the currencies based on this. See, this is your FBL 3N report where you will have the currencies which is company code group and additional currencies is been allocated. This report is FBL 3N which works on BSEC table. As BSEC table remains as it is, it get updated as it is. Clear on this point? Any doubt?
No, Naveen.
No, Naveen, this is fine. So line item concept is clear. What about the document header, BKPF table and others? Any changes in that? Or still we can see in the BKPF?
BKPF you can see as it is, the same fields you can see it in AC Doc also.
You mean to say in AC Docker we will have the both level of details, document header and line item both, right?
Yes, yes. So in tomorrow session we'll go and analyze still more AC Docker table, okay, with the different options, repost of cost and all, and the new reports which has been given. We will understand that. So please go through it whatever we have discussed today, and if you have any doubt, you can just write me an email or we can discuss in the next week. Clear? So we have understood the ledger changes, currency changes, other basic changes in FI, and we have understood the GL changes, and we have done the posting. We have analyzed few of the report which will be working. So please go through it. We will continue Saturday.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Naveen.
Naveen, are you going to share both the videos for yesterday and today?
The yesterday videos is already been available in the folder, sir. Today video I'll put it in the folder along with the presentation.
Actually, I didn't get it for yesterday.
Oh, it is in the
I will talk
folder.
to,
You will not get me every day. It will be placed in the folder. You have to go to Google Drive, shared with me. There you will have 2000 HANA class 2018. That folder you will be getting all the videos.
Okay, I will check.
So Naveen, next Saturday we are meeting at the same time, right?
Yeah, 9:45. Be available by 9:45.
Okay. Okay, Naveen. Thanks, Naveen.
Thank you. Atul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Any doubt, Amar?
Thanks, Naveen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Javed, Sati.